Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Nechahodash. Double honors to our elders and the apostles, the great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that do this work in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yala from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I'm praying how this lesson is edifying. And I'm going to start off with the precept here. It says, this is Jeremiah 51:1, and this is the judgment for the sins of Israel. But this is actually speaking of Mystery Babylon, which is AKA America. All right, because we're coming into these times right now where the world is turning against them. I have a couple of videos here that I'm going to play. I believe this is in Davos, where you have the nations that are speaking against America in a very big way. Okay. And so anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. This is Jeremiah 51:1. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up Babylon. I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst thereof, in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind." And that destroying wind is those thermonuclear missiles that's going to get shot by the other nations onto Babylon. Okay. And it says, "And will send unto them fanners that shall fan her." And that's that mushroom cloud expanding outward. And it says, "And it shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about." And we're starting to see the other nations that are coming against Babylon in a big way. All right. And America, these dumbass Americans think that America is invincible, and not realizing that these nations have come up with technology to where they can strike America from afar. All right. These people ain't boasting just for no reason. All right. China ain't saying that we got a missile called 61 that has 60 60 nuclear bombs and one hydrogen bomb. Okay. They're not They're not just saying that for no reason. This is real. Okay. And these missiles are about to get shot. Only thing we're waiting on is for them to make the digital MOTB mandatory, which is going to happen soon as well. And it says, against him that bendeth, let the archers bend his bow, and against him that lifted himself up in his grenadine, and spare ye not her young, destroy utterly all her host. And the host goes into armies. All right. So when these missiles come, they're not going to have any mercy. They're going to fry everybody. All right. "Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldees," and America is spiritually the land of the Chaldees, because they worship the same God that the Chaldees worship, which was Baal. And it says, "And they that are thrusted through in her streets, for Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their lands be filled with sin against the Holy One." Now I'm gonna skip down. I'm gonna keep on going. This is verse 6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man her soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the nations of the earth drunken." I'm going to read that again. "Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hands, that made all of the earth drunken. The nations have drinking of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her, if it's so, she may be healed." And Babylon is not going to be healed. Babylon is going to be destroyed. All right. Now we have here a couple of videos. This is going to be a short lesson. I have a couple of videos where you have, right here, they are speaking out against Donald Trump's regime and what he's doing. And I looked for this video for the original. I can't find it anywhere, so this one is kind of cut off. But, you get the gist.
Sing the descent of the United States into fascism. A president who rejects election results, incites insurrection, attacks the judiciary and the media, has an armed militia intimidating minorities, who kidnaps foreign leaders and threatens the sovereignty of others. If Trump smells weakness from the EU, it's because when the US or Israel break international law, we...
Right. And he said when Israel and the U.S. break international law, he said that we do nothing. Well, they're not standing back and doing nothing no more. Okay, the other nations are done dealing with Israel and the U.S. Okay, they have active talks right now about joining forces with Russia. Okay, and I have another one right here.
I'm a bit surprised no one mentions here that the United States have also withdrawn from the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. This makes the world, for all Europeans, a more dangerous place. I'm not surprised, of course. I mean, we're speaking...
Now what exactly is he saying? He's saying that America has withdrawn from the humanitarian, you know what? Let's just get it again.
I'm a bit surprised no one mentions here that the United States have also withdrawn from the Human Rights Council of the United Nations.
All right, they withdraw from the Human Rights Council of the United Nations, and that makes America the world a more dangerous place because they're just going to attack anybody that they feel is against them. Okay.
This makes the world, for all Europeans, a more dangerous place. I'm not surprised, of course. I mean, we're speaking in the end of a country whose governments have illegally abducted people, tortured them in secret prisons throughout the Middle East, killed children, bombed weddings from Iraq to Afghanistan. A country responsible, according to its own universities, for millions of victims in the Middle East. We're speaking about a government that's actually today, currently pushing, supporting genocide, supporting the deportation of millions of Palestinians, the country blocking the Cuban people from getting the medical equipment they need and deserve, a country imposing sanctions on working class families throughout the world just because they disagree with their government, and a country currently mass deporting working class families from the United States. Now, the question is not, why are the US withdrawing from human rights conventions? The question is, why is Europe not reacting? Do we think this is a good thing? Are we afraid to stand up? Or is this the true face of this union, not fighting for global human rights, but for corporate interests and profits of Musk? I'm a bit surprised no one mentions...
So you see, you see, Europe is saying, hey, you know, what are we gonna do about this? And then you also heard, I can't remember what that last guy is, but he's saying the same thing. And they're calling out two countries, Israel and the U.S. All right. Now I have one more. I didn't put it up in here, but let me see if I can find it. Oh, see y'all on this. I am logged. Okay, you know what? Here we go. Let's go on this one. I think I can search it. Yeah, I think this is it right here.
China, Japan, and South Korea are uniting together against the United States. I can't even begin to express how big of a deal this is and how bad the United States has to mess up to make this a reality. Like, these countries do not...
This, if you look at the date, this was in March 2025. So imagine how far along it is now. Okay? So these countries are coming together for one purpose and one purpose alone, to go against America. All right? Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Wasn't meant to be long. We're going to close out on this one. It says, Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise, ye, and let us arise against her in battle. Behold, I am against. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Okay, So the rest of the world hates America. Okay? The rest of the world hates this place. And rightfully so. Shit, America hate America. All right? So those missiles, as I brought out uh in Jeremiah 51, those missiles are going to hit and destroy this place. All right, and those other nations are gonna, and you know, for you use it. Oh man, there's a union and all this stuff, and yeah, but we've been telling you, man, that union gonna break up, man. Okay, because it was the toes, you know, the 10 toes, part iron and part miry clay. So they had some parts of the union that were weak and some parts that were strong. So the union itself is about to break apart. The Lord is actively setting the Egyptian against the Egyptian. He's dividing the house of Esau. Okay? It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay? The Lord gonna bring you down. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and set thy nest among the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? Um, I move down to verse. You know what? I'm just gonna read the whole thing. Now, you know, I'm gonna skip down to verse 7. It says, verse 6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How is his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All right? You sitting here thinking that these people still cool with you, and they not cool with you, Esau. That's why the scripture says, has wisdom departed from Teman? Because you're moving in a very unwise manner. Okay? It says the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in them. You don't even know what's going on, and all of these people that you used to rub shoulders with, and you know, used to send money to, and give aid to, they don't want to have nothing to do with you. All right, just like over there in Africa, Burkina Faso, you know, you got my main man's Abraham Traore, you know, doing his thing, throwing the French out the government because they understand, you know, that taking money from the enemy, taking gifts from the enemy destroys them. All right. So these people that you have made leagues with no longer want to be in league with you. All right. So, hey, this is it. We're here. This is the end. The Lord is about to destroy this place with the sword destruction. All right. So the only thing we waiting on is them to announce the MOTB and Jacob's trouble. So with that, I pray this is an edifying lesson. I'm going to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakar Kadash. To the next time I came, I say Shalom.